Yeah, thank you very much. So my name is Felix, like mentioned already. I have 50 minutes time and quite a lot of topics, so I try not to take too much time, and I will be pretty fast in the beginning. So just, it is important, I don't want to do marketing, but it's important to understand the story later on. So we are a small company, 55 people in Germany, and here in Thessaloniki we have an office since 2022. And we are doing software development, data solutions, and RIAS management software, which is our own product. And there I will say a few words because we will have the case study based on this product. So audit management, it's for internal auditing. So we have the whole process in our software to support the internal auditing department, from the risk management, audit program planning, audit execution, documentation, reporting, and. So it's a main tool for internal auditors to do their daily work. And I've been on almost exactly 1 year ago. There's a big conference for internal auditing in Germany where we've been, and it was all about AI, how it will transform the internal auditing. And what I saw was that a lot of people and companies are trying things out. They were playing around with ChatGPT or with Microsoft Copilot, and they had also some gimmicks that, like Avatar is presenting and explaining the audit report to the CEO, which was more like a gaming topic. But meanwhile, I have the feeling that the hype is over, and now we really have to start business and really working with it in a professional way. And what were the problems? Why they did not do it last year already? They had a lot of concerns about data security, data privacy. So they didn't have it integrated. So what they did is they took the data from their audit management software, they copy-pasted, deleted the names, deleted all the company-specific information which they were not allowed to put into ChatGPT. Then they put it into ChatGPT. They took the answer, they copied it back in their system, they added the names again, they added the specific, and I thought, okay, that doesn't really make sense. So it should be somehow integrated in your workflows. Also, internal auditors are mostly coming from finance. They don't always have a very strong IT background, so they don't have much experience with prompting and with AI in general. And also the LLMs, which are publicly available, they usually don't know anything about your company, about your business. They're just general public. And most of the companies last year also didn't have a guideline yet or a policy how to use AI. Meanwhile, a lot of companies have implemented it. Also, some were afraid of the costs, which is maybe not the biggest topic. But also what we saw also before now is that what a lot of companies or people in internal auditing didn't like is that you don't know where the answer comes from, and it was kind of a black box answer. Therefore, we said, okay, we need kind of a super colleague for the internal auditor who knows all the processes of the company, who knows the products, the customers, who knows everything the company knows, the documentation, the archive, but it also should know more and be available all the time, be supportive, and we call it enterprise intelligence. So after a while, we had this discussion then also with some customers, and we came to the solution that we have to find an LLM which we can host on our own, so the data stays with us, we have the data sovereignty. Or meanwhile, also OpenAI can be hosted with Azure in Sweden, I believe, is the only European country where you can host it right now. So there you could host it, kind of data privacy compliant. But then still we had the discussion about integrating it into the workflows and also adding specific know-how through RUGs. And we wanted also to make it very easy and have an AI management system that you don't need to have AI knowledge in your company. So it's a one-click solution. You can just use it. So that's the conditions and the discussions we had with the customers. and should be affordable, of course, as well. So what we decided is that we start with 2 use cases, and one is like a chat UI, almost similar like ChatGPT, but the other one is that we integrated the LLM support into our product, and I will show that in a few seconds, that you don't have to switch and copy paste between different applications. You can use it directly out of our product. And as the data don't go to OpenAI in the US or something, and it's a self-hosted system, there's no risk to use the data you have in your application in the same infrastructure anyhow. So, and once you have this platform, you can add additional use cases, which is quite nice. Here is a short overview. So we are asking questions, giving answers. We're giving input from RIAS, from our software, which is here on the right. So once you ask a question or you ask for support, it takes data from your audit you're in right now. So it has all the background information to put it into the prompt to have a better answer. We used the Llama 3.1 model. For the beginning, we started with a small 8B model for us. One of our customers, he took the 70B model, which is, of course, much more powerful. But even with the small one, we had pretty good, pretty decent results. And the customer had the opinion anyhow that it should be 60–70% accurate. They don't want to completely release the auditors from thinking about what they do. They just don't want them to start on an empty page where it takes a long time to think about, okay, what I'm going to audit. Will I do an interview? Will I do a data analytics? Or how do I analyze these things? So they get a proposal and they don't start from scratch. And this is a big improvement for them. But it doesn't need to be 100% perfect because it is always supposed that a person with the experience and the knowledge is extending it. And we added an rack, actually several racks after some time, where we put all the internal auditing standards, the international standards for it, the European standards, training material, and so on. We also tried with fine-tuning, but with the specific data, the fine-tuning was actually making the model more stupid and not improving it. So for these kind of use cases, a rack is a better option. And we decided that we might have different questions, so it might be helpful to add different informations. So we designed it in a way that we have 3 racks, or customer could even add some additional racks, where you can say this rack is for specific information or knowledge regarding this topic and the other regarding other topic, and then depending on your question, the right rack will be included or considered for your answer. We also built an interface for them, which we use as a product now, where you can switch which racks to use, and we also use Chroma for the database. We also added, and this is something which maybe came out of the idea that it should be easy for non-AI experts also to maintain. So we built an administration area where you can add recs, you can create them, and like in a standard easy document management, you can add documents. They will automatically cut into embeddings and put in the rec in the right form. So you just upload a PDF document as a user. You don't need any AI know-how. You update or delete documents. You can just work like with a document management system. And that makes it very easy for non-technical people to use it. And it's affordable because the small Llama model just needs a standard gaming PC with a GPU with around 24 GB. But that's enough, and that costs normally not more than 5,000 euros. So you're not talking about huge investments in infrastructure. Like I said, we have one big automotive customer. They decided that they have already a language model, the 70 B1 Llama, and they took that one. But with the small one, it works perfectly fine as well. So we have one step which is pretty time-consuming for the internal auditor. It's if they are assigned to an audit, for example, they have to audit the invoicing process of one department. Then they sit and they think, okay, how should the process be? What can I check? Should I have an interview with the department manager? Should I take samples and look at some invoices? How do I do the audit? And this is where we started, and I will shortly try to jump into our RIAS demo. So here we have some, I have to move it, I think. Yeah. So we have some example audit here. And in the end, you have the 3 buttons. And the 2 buttons were there before. One is saying create a new work program by scratch, or you can load templates which you prepared someday before. And now we just added one button which we didn't translate in the demo yet. So it's German, but it means generating a proposal. And now the user doesn't need to know anything from AI. He just clicks one button, and then it's creating the prompt in the background. It's giving all the information to the system, and then within a few seconds you get a result, and the result is already structured as we needed our product with different steps and different audit points. Like I said in the demo, we didn't do the translation yet. But it's not so much important what it's exactly written there, but it's giving him the structure how he does his audit. And this normally takes, depending on the complexity of the audit, a few hours till 1 day or something. And now it takes a few seconds to have a 60–70% accurate proposal, which he can take over or deny. We also now are working on making it possible that you have 4 or 5 versions which you can compare and then choose which you like most. So that's improving the work of auditors a lot. So one of the customer who is using it, they have 600 auditors all around the world, and they make each one 15–20 audits per year. So if you consider they all save for each audit 3–4 hours, you can do the math how much hours, working hours per year they save, and what cost saving that also of course means, because then the auditor have more time to look into the relevant topics and doesn't have to spend so much time on doing the paperwork. And that's already the live demo. It's a little bit boring because you just click one button, but that's exactly what we wanted to have, because we wanted to build it for people who have no technical background and they just want to click a button. They don't care about what prompt is generated in the background. They don't care about what model is in the background. They just want to have a good result. So I'm trying to jump back in the presentation. I lost my mouse. So that was the product, the first use case with integration. And then we said, okay, now we have already the model, we have the rugs, we have everything. Let's give them also a, it's not. So let's give them also a chat, like they used to it from public topics, a chat interface. But what we added is some transparency. So what we add is the context of the answer. So we show the user which documents were considered while the system was creating the answer. So you can have two different ways of answer or of information there. One is that Llama did not consider any documents of the RAG. Then it will say it decided or it proposed it on its own behalf, or it will use some documents. And then we show which documents were considered with which probability and so on. So you get an understanding where the answer comes from, and it's not just a black box answer, but it's transparent. And you can even have the links down, the blue ones are links where you can click on it and look into the documents which are in the RAG. And you can just verify if it's the right document, if it's the right answer. So that was helping also a lot to gain the trust of the users. And we have some additional, like you can see here, you can choose different RAGs. We have some small features developed there. In the end, you can get it open source a lot, these chat interfaces. So that's not the big value of our solution. We just implemented it to have it comfortable for the user. This is more interesting now that we really do an AI management kind of platform. So you have the document management system part, but we also do user management. So you can decide which user are allowed to get answers based on which data. Because if you don't have access to documents, you should also not get the input from these documents through the AI. So we can have roles, for example, sales role or finance role, and then in the answering process, it will only consider the documents and the information which is approved for your use. So that is very helpful for a lot of customers, as well as we can also check the questions before we give the answer to see if they comply with the company policy. So you get more compliance and more control and transparency in the whole use of AI. And you can configure the AI language model behind it. So if you don't want to use the Llama model, which we test with, you can just connect to another one. Yeah, you can just administrate the access and configure the weight to another language model. So that's pretty helpful. Again, you just need administrators. You don't need AI experts. This was always in our mind that we want to make it a one-click and easy solution. So the advantages we get out of this is that for internal auditors with no AI knowledge and very few IT knowledge, you can easily get access to the AI models and to the support. You can combine the power of AI with your own data, with your own information in the company, and you have all the data in your environment, in your infrastructure, so nothing leaves your infrastructure. So from data privacy and company data security point of view, it's very safe. And the problem you also might face if you don't offer something to your team, the people who are interested in using it, they will just start using what they can use, and that might not be the one you want them to use. So data might go into public AI systems which leave the country, and it's better if you give them an offer which they can use officially with compliance to your rules. Out of this, and then I'm already at the end, I think the time is also almost up. We have now another customer who used the use case a little bit. They actually have a huge folder structure with around 43,000 Word documents, over 90,000 PDF documents, and over 120,000 Excel sheets. And they could not find anything, so they use it. We crawl overnight all the documents and put them in the RAG, and they can search all these documents and they find easily the right documents. So there's a multi-purpose use of this, and that's pretty interesting because it's a one-click solution for people who don't have any IT knowledge, and it makes it available for everyone. I think I'm within my time and I'm finished.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Felix. Thank
Yeah.
you. One round of applause. Unfortunately, we are running
Yeah.
behind schedule, so we don't have time for questions,
Yeah.
but yeah.
We have a
Yeah.
boost. You can always come and ask me over there if you have some questions.
Yep.
Thank
Great.
you very much.
Thanks a lot.